mirror wall as you head up the escalators shows some iconic images from our heritage. From the building of the venue and opening in 1937, the premieres and events attended by the royal family and also acting royalty from around the world, as well as Muhammad Ali being weighed in for a title fight in 1966. Our Oscar Spa, as previously mentioned, is a space that takes you back to the glamour of the 1930s. This can be hired on its own as a reception, or as part of your event to host a drinks reception or for additional breakout space. You can treat your guests to one of our signature cocktails. A Lily's Pink Gin Spritz is one of our current favourites, and we can tailor the reception to your preferences. The Dolby screen, lovingly designed to offer the very best combination of technology and comfort, whilst retaining beautiful Art Deco features. The lighting you can see here highlights these to offer a real wow factor. And you can see here our original safety curtain, which has now been immortalised in digital form. The famous Flying Ladies, even Tom Hanks referred to these in an onstage speech at the premiere of The Post, were restored and reinstated. And the Duchess, our original 1930s Compton organ, was also a key part of the refurbishment, and it now features at many premieres and events, as well as being a highlight of guest visits. Its most recent outing was at the BBC Top Gear season premiere, where our theme was played by the organist Donald, much to the delight of the audience. Our stage also has a full orchestra pit, and that offers you creative options for staging your event. You can use this as Elton John did. He put a baby grand piano on it and raised up to the audience as a nice surprise at a film premiere. And we've also had a 12-piece orchestra and singers for Beauty and the Beast. So I hope that gives you a good overview of our facilities and our lovely venue, and I'll hand you back over to Sian now.
Thanks very much, Tess. So one thing I felt really important to mention is our plan around the current situation which we find ourselves. Guy obviously touched on this at the beginning. We're already working up an extensive plan to ensure we protect the safety of our people who work for us and our guests upon reopening. So I'm pleased to share this with you today. This is a quite busy slide. I'm not going to go through this in detail. Also, if you could bear in mind, this is not guest facing yet. I'm showing it for this group only at this stage. So it's worth bearing in mind that cinema, for us, this is going to become BAU, business as usual, as we're regularly inviting large groups in. So we need to make sure that we're very clear on the control of this. In this rapidly changing situation, though, we will ensure that we adhere to all the government guidelines and restrictions. So you can see how we've set this out. I will be sharing this along with the rest of the presentation. So if you've any questions on this specifically. So I'll just pass over to Paul now, who's going to cover off our pricing.
Thanks, Sian. Thanks, Tess. So this is the last bit. Don't worry, we won't keep you too much longer. In terms of a typical event, we would normally see a one-day conference with some time the previous day for setup and rehearsal. Bearing that in mind, a typical cost that you could expect from us for a half-day delegate would be £25 plus VAT. In terms of full-day delegate, you're looking around the £50 plus VAT mark. If you're looking to hire Oscars bar only, that lovely bar that Tess has brought you through, an evening hire for a private party is a flat rate of £2,000 plus VAT, with a minimum spend requirement of an additional £2,000 plus VAT. We're really proud of our unique venue, and we host a lot of unique events. I think because of that, we do have to tailor our pricing to every single event we do, so whether it's a film premiere or something of that nature. So please do get in touch with us about your specific event requirement, and we'd love to engage with you more to talk to you about bringing your event to the square. Thanks. Back to you, Sian.
That was superb. Thank you.
Sorry, just one last bit, Guy.
Whoa.
Sorry, so I just wanted to, thanks very much for listening. I wanted to leave you with this image, which is actually the entrance to our Dolby Theatre. So if you look closely, you'll see listed all the premieres that we've held between 2009 and 2018. And this is a theme throughout the building. So when you come to visit, I'd invite you to see where else you can spot these going back pre-2008. So I am now finished. Thank you, Guy. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll welcome any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was superb. Paul, just one quick question before we go on to Jess from Steelyard. Do you get a lot of companies doing sort of national road, so they're doing a similar simultaneous events throughout the country? Because obviously you probably have venues in more towns and cities than virtually any other chain in the country, I'd have thought.
Yeah, so we are one of the leading chains, and we've got the best variety of locations from high street to multiplex, which is our USP. A lot of the other cinema chains don't have that; they're all regionally located. I think with regard to what you're talking about specifically, we would do quite a lot of what's called satellite or internet conferencing, where we would, let's say, have someone exhibiting at Odeon Leicester Square with a camera beaming out live to numerous other locations. We've done that for a number of clients. Some that I can mention would be Ulster Bank or Royal Bank of Scotland, and Allied Irish Banks we've done it for as well. There are others that we can't name, unfortunately, but it's something that we've done quite regularly, and a very good question.
And Holly has just asked, Holly from Conference Care, Odeon, over how many floors are your screens on? I think she's referring specifically to Leicester Square.
If we look at take the Dolby Theatre, so the obviously the main space, that's effectively over 2 floors. It's, if you can imagine, it's basically, you know, an old theatre style cinema. So on the ground floor is the stall section, so that's the 250 seater currently. And then on the first floor is the circle section, which has 550 seats in it. So it's across those 2 floors. Our other smaller screens, there's 2 on each level across the other side of the building for those.
Brilliant. Well, guys, keep typing in questions but I'm going to move on to Jess from Oxygen and the Steelyard, and she is going to give us a quick view of the Steelyard. Over to you, Jess.
Hello, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us today. So just hold on. So it says host disabled attendee. So if you can just update that guy.
It's Clifford, actually.
Oh.
Can you share it now?
No. Yeah, okay, hold on. Right.
You're another host.
Okay, so let me just make this live. So I am Jess. I work for a company called Oxygen Event Services. I'm the event director there. So I've been with Oxygen for 14 years. And so we took on the management of the Steelyard about 4 years ago. So Oxygen we're a production and venue specialist company. So we took on the management of the Steelyard, which is a really exciting opportunity for us and allows us to have this amazing space within the city to showcase a lot of our production. And because we're production specialists, we have a different take to the venue management. So the Steelyard is an exciting blank canvas venue in the City of London. We are in a prime city location. The nearest tube stations are Monument, Bank, Cannon Street and London Bridge. So the Steelyard, it comprises of 2 beautifully restored Victorian railway arches, featuring a reception bar, which you can see here, through into the main hall and up to the mezzanine here. The venue offers excellent production potential to make your live and virtual events memorable. Importantly, it also offers one of the fastest internet speeds out of all of London's venues, which presents opportunities in this current climate to allow people to communicate to their clients, staff and key stakeholders effectively. So when restrictions are lifted, the venue can accommodate for up to 400 standing reception. We can do seated dinners for 200 and theatre style conferences for up to 250. Meanwhile, the venue offers space for safe social distancing in this current climate, which can be combined with the technical resources to speak to audiences beyond the room. The venue's offering really is unique. As I said earlier, it's managed by us at Oxygen. And the venue offers an exciting blank space, which is supported by an expert team of production specialists to help transform the space to your exact needs, whether it be hosting a dinner, an award show, drinks receptions, conferences, exhibition or fashion shows. We've done many different kinds of events.
Just Jess, 1 second. There's one person I think who isn't on mute other than myself. Is it Zoet? I can see. If you could just mute your screen.
Yeah.
Zoot, if you could. Thank you very much. Sorry to interrupt you, Jess. Thanks.
That's all right, no worries. So this year we'll be celebrating Christmas 2020 at the Steelyard with a nod to the Roaring Twenties. This will be our 4th year offering Christmas parties to the corporate market. This year's theme will include a Roaring Twenties styling and decor. We have a live swing jazz band. You can see here Tilly Valentine, who's very talented and an amazing singer, who'll be performing, and we offer a choice of catering and drinks packages. So if this is of interest, then please feel free to discuss with me afterwards. For those of you that are excited by the finer technical details, the venue is fitted with an 18-head moving light package, as well as downlighters throughout the room that go all along the edge here. We are renowned for being one of London's best club venues on the weekend, and so the venue also offers a state-of-the-art sound setup. And once again, as I've already mentioned, we have a really good internet speed in the city, which is quite promising at the moment. So the venue is loved by the corporate market for its flexibility to promote and raise your company brand. There's lots of opportunities within the venue to really make it your own and to really style it out and brand all over the place. We have various arches, columns, all sorts of areas where we can really brand and add the company's style to the event. In terms of catering, we work in conjunction with Greens Catering. They've got 20 years experience and offer a variety of delicious packages, which are suitable for all kinds of events. We also have listed as preferred suppliers Create, Lettuce, Party Ingredients, Rocket, and Sands Catering. So we've got a differing options depending on what your budget and what your style you want to achieve. Also, the bar offers a flexible approach to drinks packages, from unlimited drinks packages and cocktails and all sorts of things. So as you can see, the Steelyard really is an exciting and flexible blank canvas venue for companies that want to raise the profile of their brand, launch new products, and engage with their clients, partners, and employees. So I'd love to take any questions if you have them.
Just one question has just come through. Well, thank you very much then. What's your, have you got a late license at the Steelyard because you do club nights?
Yeah, so we have a late license there, so we can go through till 2 a.m. We also are very flexible with our noise, so we've got no noise restrictions. And again, with the setup, we offer a 24-hour access into the venue in terms of setting up for the event and D-rigs.
Fantastic. And just what was the capacity again of the venue? Virus, pandemics withstanding.
So we can go up to 400 for a standing reception, and we can do about 200 for a seated dinner and 250 for a conference. So in terms of the pandemic, we've got a very good access into the venue. We've got a number of doorways that allow us to kind of operate one-way systems and things. So we'll be able to offer pretty good social distancing within the venue.
I don't know if you know that I've just been asked by another Holly, but a different Holly Ruff from everyone. Is that what kind of hotels? Are there hotels? A lot of hotels close to the venue?
Yeah, so we do have hotels nearby. We don't tend to do the kind of events where we are using the hotels nearby, but there certainly are options nearby.
Yeah, I guess being in the middle of the city, there's lots of hotels, but
yeah.
Okay, well, that was fantastic, Jess. Thanks very much. And I think obviously the Steelyard is quite a different proposition to many in the leading venues of London BA Club portfolio, and I'm sure people will want to ask you questions. And now on to another completely different environment. I'm going to ask, invite Anne to come and speak, and she's going to present City Cruises to us all. So welcome, Anne. I think I can just see on your screen at the moment you're on mute, so you'll have to unmute yourself.
I'm just trying to share
there
the
you
screen.
are.
Yeah.
And
and I will just make you the host for a moment, so you can. Where are you? Bear with me a second. Where are you? There. Make host. Right. You should have it, Anne.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Excuse, I'm not so experienced at these things, but hey, there we go. Let's start. I can. No, that right. Okay. So my name's Anne Hayes. I head up the private hire and the charter division of City Cruises. City Cruises have been running boats in London since 1976, and at the moment we currently operate 16 boats. Many of you are probably familiar with our red London sightseeing boats, and many of these have been available for private hire. When I was brought in 5 years ago to set up the private hire division, I was using those boats, but it became apparent that people wanted us to be a little bit more flexible, didn't necessarily want our branding to be so obvious, wanted outside space, wanted more freedom of everything. So we set about acquiring a boat that many of you may have been familiar with on the river called the MV Erasmus. So we took over that boat in 1919, and she started operation. Well, actually she started with the boat race because she's actually the host for the Oxford University. Now, having said that, I'm actually only going to focus on the Erasmus because otherwise we would run out of time if I went through all other 15 boats that we have available to us in London. So I hope you can bear with me on that, but bear in mind we have a boat of all sizes, so we can do dinners for 20 and we can go up to about 200. That's across the fleet. The advantage of this, obviously, is if your event changes and gets bigger or smaller, we can look to switch you down on different boats. Okay. So City Cruises was a family business, started in 1976, and actually towards the tail end of last year, we were acquired by a US company. And I think this may be relevant to many of you that have got US divisions and offices, because the US company is a company called Hornblower, and they are renowned for running events in very prestigious parts of the state. They run the boats to the Statue of Liberty, to Alcatraz, and they do the Niagara boats, plus they have a huge party element. I will be honest, one of the things they have in their advantage is they don't have lots of low bridges like we have in London, so their boats are much more like cruise ships than ours are. And you have to remember that our aim really is, we're not the star of the show, our capital city is, and that's what we're taking everybody to see at every point during their event. In addition, if you have got offices in York or down in Poole in Dorset, we've got boat companies there that can run events for you on a smaller scale. So the important thing for us when we set out to acquire a purpose-built charter vessel to suit the corporate market was to have maximum outside space, large windows, otherwise what's the point in being on the river to see London if you can't see it? And bearing in mind, obviously, our weather is not predictable. So whether it's raining or sunny, you need to enjoy the city and your event. The Erasmus actually has 3 outside decks, but I'm giving you the external views at the moment. And obviously, I'm giving you the one I really like is the boat that's coming towards us from Tower Bridge. And that was the one.
Anne, I can't see your document at the moment. Can anyone else?
Anybody else see it?
No, can you just try and, I mean, if you can just try again to pop that up.
Yeah, hold on. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Nobody knew what I was talking about.
No, we're actually listening. I mean, but I think we just need to see that document now.
Yeah, I don't know. I have hit share screen. I don't know where it's. Hold on. I'm struggling at the moment with the technology.
Don't worry about it. We're all getting used to this thing. Clifford, are you able to step in with a bit of advice here?
No, I've made Anne the host, so she does have control.
Yeah, I can't see I've lost my Zoom screen. So I've actually lost my screen, which where I can see you guys now. Hold on.
Just
Could you send it to Clifford maybe? Could you send what you...
Okay, I can see you guys now.
okay. Then go on to. We'll click
Patricia,
about.
I've got a note. I'll admit Patricia because I'm the host. So Patricia's joining us. Come on, share screen, share screen, share screen. Should be that one. Sorry about this.
It's all right. There we are.
No,
There you
I'm
go.
not.
There we are.
Yeah, right. Okay. Just shout when you can see me. You can see pictures.
We can see pictures.
Yes.
Yay! Yay! Okay. So now you know what I was talking about, everybody. Our fantastic capital city, London. And without fail, I would have to say, no matter how many times you go on a boat, everybody takes a picture as you go on the Tower Bridge. So this is the Erasmus, and I'm sure some of you, in fact, may even have used this boat in the past. Okay. We're focusing here on the outside spaces in particular. The top left is our forward outside deck. That's the one normally where we will put people for group shots and everything, and that's forward facing, and you can take pictures from above. We've got lovely wedding couples as Tower Bridge opens and everything on that deck. The upper deck, the bottom left picture is our upper deck with sofas. We provide throws and lanterns in the summer. And the small rear deck at the back is where the interesting thing about our venue is you can actually smoke on the outside spaces. So that's really important. We do tend to encourage clients to use the rear space for that, smoking and vaping. We've had a few cigarette companies that have taken the boat, and obviously they want people to be free to smoke on any of the outside decks, and that's possible. So the important thing is to look at this boat as being totally flexible. So she has 3 decks. And you've just got a selection of images, and the most important thing here is that you can see the setup and you can see London through every single window in every direction. Ooh, what have I got? I've lost my presentation again. Right. Sorry about this.
Right.
Oh, everybody else was so professional, guys.
Don't worry, we're all learning as we go along here.
Right. Okay. What I'm about to show you now, obviously, is the boat decorated for Christmas. This is the deck that everybody boards on. It does have disabled loo facilities and everything, and is accessible on the lower level. If you need full accessibility, nearly all of the City Cruises fleet are fully accessible, with our flagship, the Millennium Diamond, even having a lift to the upper deck. So that is important as we're looking at accessibility. So this is the lower deck. This is where we operate. Usually run formal dining. The boat itself, we run events from 60 up to 340, 340 being a standing reception, 126 formal dining, and 250 or so for a barbecue. So let me see what else can I do. We have hire rates starting at about £1,600, going up to £3,000. There's no VAT on boat hire. We can offer a start and an end at different places in London. So if you've got people wanting to leave from Canary Wharf, we can do that, or want to end somewhere else. We offer transfer. So if you're looking to move a lot of people from your offices to another venue that's near the river, we can provide champagne and give everybody a really nice start to the event. We've got pier staff to meet and greet and control boarding, which will become very, very important when we go back to business. We're flexible. We've run successfully for the last 2 years Movies on the Thames in association with Time Out London, where we've done screenings for 160 people with headsets and everything. And I think, as I said, that's probably about it. We can do branding.
And one question that came up is often people ask on can you dock during an event? So if some people wanted to, leave at 10:30, but others want party on, that's perfectly possible, is it?
It's perfectly possible, because very often we find that at Christmas, the chairman or something wants to join, but nobody wants him there the whole time, him or her. So there will be a stop off. You can have a stop off to do that. And if you want your event to run later, I mean, this boat's actually licensed 24/7. We wouldn't recommend that. It has, but en route stops are certainly possible. So if you've got multiple offices, we can do different drops. We can do drops at 10 o'clock if everybody needs to get home for babysitters. and that kind of thing. So we can advise you with that. The one challenge that I do have, and none of the other venues have this at all, is I do have to work with London tides, which vary by about 30 foot. So sometimes this boat won't fit under bridges, but don't worry, we take that. I come actually from a corporate background. I've actually only been in events for 12 years. And importantly for me, my team trying to take the pain away from you in organising this event with every little detail. And I know that everybody can be pushed for time, and sometimes organising a corporate event can be a very thankless task. So
That's
importantly,
great.
we'll do as much of that as we can.
And one question we've had is, is catering in-house, or can people bring in their own caterers?
We do have an in-house catering team, and obviously that enables us to offer great flexibility on menus, starting at about £18 including VAT, going up to about £50 including VAT. We do work with a preferred Indian caterer, and we also have a preferred external caterer, which is Boulevard. However, we are happy to work with your caterers should you need us to. We just need them to work within the confines of a boat. We'd recommend a survey.
Absolutely. I can tell everyone here that kitchens on boats don't have the luxury of space, so you have to have experience, I think, to go and confidently cater on them. And that was fantastic. Thank you very much. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed a look at sort of 3 very, very, very different London spaces. And I think it's fantastic we have such a range of venues in central London. And, so, sometimes, if you want, looking at this, if you wanted incredible AV, right in the heart of London, you've got Odeon. If you want to show people the whole sort of the architecture and the splendor of London, you've got the Erasmus on thing. Or if you want a great sort of party environment with lots of lighting, you've got the Steelyard. And I think that's really what is great to have here. There's a huge amount of choice. I'd like to thank the presenters. Thank you very, very much for doing this. I know we're all every day is a school day on Zoom. I think we're all getting better and better at it. But I think you all did very, very well. We'd like to do this again. We'd like to thank everyone who joined us today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. And I think we want to do more of this, and probably continue to do this after the lockdown, because I think sometimes doing show rounds, you want to see venues, but you haven't got the time to go and visit them. So I hope when we advertise these again, you'll join us. Any questions that come in, I will forward to, so that we get answers. I've just got one here, actually. Before I clock out, Odeon talked about it, but do other venues have plans to reduce max capacities, and therefore will that affect prices? I think I'm going to answer this, actually, because I've spoken to a lot of venues recently. I mean, I think across the board, yes. The capacities are going to have to reduce, and everyone's going to have to look at their pricing structures in context of that. Realistically, I think it's going to be some time before the venues open up for events. So I think we're looking at a moving target here, but I think everyone will be publishing new capacities and new prices in that context. It's a good question, but I think, this pandemic, we seem to have been in lockdown, it feels like forever, but in the context of things, it's only 8 weeks. And I think the autumn, especially, it'll seem like another country. I think it's a long way away yet. So we'll see what happens. But thank you all very, very much for joining us. I hope you all keep well, keep sane, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the other side. So, but please fire through questions if you have them, and we'll put them to the presenters. But thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.